In 1898, a colonial landowner made an extraordinary archaeological find, perhaps thousands of years old, perhaps even the tomb of the Buddha himself. This film aims to resolve a series of mysteries. Is this little-known monument in northern India really the Buddha's tomb? Is the find genuine? And if it is, who created it and when? For the nearly 400 million Buddhists worldwide, the stakes could not be higher. Beneath the Piprawa stupa, Willie Pepe found a huge stone sarcophagus over 20 feet down. In it were some reliquary urns and more than 1,000 separate jewels, carved semi-precious stones, and gold and silver objects of incalculable value. Around the neck of one of the reliquary jars was a line of spidery writing, consisting of 36 strange letters.
You can see that Willie Pepe has very carefully copied the characters on the urn. And it begins, "The relics appear to be those of the Buddha himself." Now, here had been discovered not only some rather wonderful jewels, but also some actual bones and ashes.
They'd long wanted to ingratiate themselves with the neighboring state, Siam. So they formally presented the Piprawa ashes and bones to Siam's Buddhist king, Rama V, scoring a diplomatic victory. The crucial piece of evidence is here in Calcutta. Stored in the city's museum, the original inscribed Piprawa urn.
Sukiti bhati nam sabhakinikanam saputadalanang yansalila nidhane buddhasa bhagavasa sakya. And then he ran out of space and he added 2 letters on top of it, saying yanam.
Now, for me, Harry, what does that say?
This reliquary, which is the reliquary of the Buddha, the lord of the Shakya clan in the Terai.
But now, a deeper mystery emerges. According to Harry Falk, the script used for the inscription didn't exist when the Buddha died. And the only comparable urns are from long afterwards, too. At around the age of 80, Buddha set out on his final journey, back to his homeland close to Piprawa. 60 miles short of Lumbini, at Kushinagar, he lay down between 2 trees that suddenly flowered out of season, and he died. But it's what happened after his death that provides the vital clues to locate Buddha's true burial place. So even if the fragments of bone and ash belonged to the Buddha, the elaborate tomb must have been created later by someone else. There's one place that could hold the answers to these vital questions. A remarkable site at the very heart of India. Sanchi, 450 miles away. The monument was begun by a great emperor who converted his Indian empire to Buddhism 150 years after the Buddha died. A clue may be found in one of India's earliest languages. Ashoka used a form of Sanskrit to create written edicts, first on rocks, and later on a series of huge sandstone pillars. They were written in script called Brahmi. The very script used to make the Piprawa inscription. That inscription, according to Harry Falk, was made around 150 years after Buddha died, exactly when Ashoka reigned. All the evidence seems to point toward Ashoka as the man who created this remarkable tomb. The dimensions of the chest seem to fit the typical measurements of Ashokan artwork. Why did Ashoka choose Piprawa? Was it the original burial place of Buddha's remains by his own Sakya family? If Pepe had dug deeper, as his niece suggested in 1898, he might have found the answer. But many years later, someone else did. It was 1971. The excavator this time was not a British colonial, but a young Indian archaeologist, K.S. Srivastava. Srivastava was convinced that the chamber where Pepe had found the sarcophagus wasn't at ground level, and that there might be something beneath it. Just below Pepe's find, he located an earlier burial. Two small chambers, each with a soapstone casket and some broken redware. Srivastava was convinced that this find was from the time of the Buddha himself. For Charles Allen, it's the final piece of the jigsaw puzzle, suggesting that this lower site was the original Sakya burial place, and that Buddha's ashes were moved from here to the elaborate new tomb above, just as the inscription said.
Somebody has come along and disturbed the original ashes, and then he's added his own particular tribute, his offering of all these wonderful jewels. And we know that that person is almost certainly Ashoka, because this great box was Ashokan. The writing almost certainly added to that inscription is from the time of Ashoka.
For nearly 400 million Buddhists worldwide, he has confirmed that Piprawa is, in all likelihood, the very place where the Sakyas buried their holy clansmen.